I hope I'm a hoot and a half. A hoot and a half? I'm from Texas, y'all. I'm not like a surface level fan of anything. For example, sports, I gotta know everything. Survivor, I've seen every single episode a million times. And then like The Real Housewives. I don't just watch Beverly Hills, I watch every city. Do you know what I mean? Like I commit. So my job is to like find songwriters, find people that make amazing music, put them together, help them get their stuff out there. So all of the espionage, like the craziness of the music business, it's just like Survivor, but with like food and cocktails. My job is all about like service, and I'm gonna present as someone that feels like they can just help all these other contestants, and what they don't realize is that I'm the biggest threat of the entire cast. The scariest thing of the whole thing, it's not the starving, it's not the sleeping on the beach, it's like I have to sit here and be myself. And as scary as that is, I have to remember that I built my whole life from the ground up being myself, and I can play the game the same way.
And I looked at him in our first meeting and I said, hey, so just letting you know, when I get cast on Survivor, I'm gonna need to take some time off. He was like, okay, girl, sure, whatever, right? I grew up right in the middle of Midtown Manhattan, elevator, apartment building, took the subway to school, and I grew up really independent. I was a bit of a latchkey kid. Those experiences really stick out to me now in giving me the confidence and the self-assurance to just navigate the world. No one wants to say that they're a big boss, right? But like the night before we flew out to Fiji, I was pitching multiple $100 million projects. Get to do pretty cool, impactful, big stuff. In so many parts of my life, I control how things go. I have to really get comfortable with not being in charge, even though I love being in charge.
Do you think you have what it takes to be on Survivor? I looked up, I looked down, I looked to the left. I said, Jeff, I do think I got what it takes to be on Survivor. Do you know how many people wish they could be here right now? I'm not taking nothing for granted. Once I picked up a basketball and realized I'm actually pretty all right. I'm pretty strong. I did semi-pro for a little bit, and then I found my calling with sales. When you're doing sales, you have to talk to people. That's easy. I talk for fun. I actually want to do this to leave something for Silver Mars and to show him, hey, you see me, sir? That's me, oh. Now I will throw you the ball. Let's see what else you can do. You might be president one day. I don't even know. But just by watching me do this, it can only open up so many doors for him to imagine. He gotta be an astronaut. Silver Mars. Chase your dreams. That's the name of the game.
What do you want to leave this island having gained?
For sure, for Jeff to have my number on his speed dial. Okay, keep it. I will never change it. I will keep it just for you.
Congratulations on making it on Survivor 48.
Woo!
It feels so good. Say it again. Oh, it feels warm in here. It's so nice. One of the cool things culturally about being Persian, and something that we don't see, is we go out of our way for our community. Bringing that into the game is two sides of the same coin. I want people to feel like this guy has my back, but I'm also gonna have to stab him in their back. You know what I mean? For 15 years, my mom and I weren't really close. Over the last 3 years, I've gotten to know her in a way that I never thought possible. And a lot of that has been with Survivor. I made her watch every single episode because I knew she would be obsessed with it. And we got to talk about it, and we had something in common that we hadn't had in a very long time. And I told my mom that I got Survivor with tree mail. Dear sweet mama, here's a quick tale. 3 years of trying and I'll finally set sail on an adventure bold and new, a test of spirit and character I'm sure to shine through. And where is this adventure, you might inquire? I'm off to outwit, outlast, and outplay on our favorite show, Survivor.
If Mitch, who stutter, can go and play Survivor, then you can too. Growing up stuttering was incredibly challenging. Kids were pretty mean. Small everyday moments really stressed me out because I knew I would probably stutter, and not knowing how someone would react to that. So it really forced me to be resilient. So now I get to work as PE coach. I get to do a job that I love and also have a positive impact. That is incredible. I was always afraid that my speech impediment would hold me back. The goal is to come out here and prove to myself that I'm more than capable of doing anything.
I really want to play like Ben. He was able to be a spy, and I cannot wait to do espionage on the show. After I spent almost a year hitchhiking and backpacking, everywhere I went, people were saying like, wow, you know what, Mary? I've never told that to anyone before. That felt really good for me. And I was like, you know what? I actually appreciated that too. So when I came back from my travels, I thought to myself, well, who gets to hear people's secrets every day? And I thought, oh, a therapist. So after I graduated, I started working at a methadone clinic, so doing substance abuse counseling. My parents have always said, like, Mary, if you could have a little bit more fear, we would feel a lot better as parents. I'm fearless, I'm bold. I'm someone who really just doesn't care what people think about me. I do my own thing. And so I think when I'm out here on the island, I'm gonna do what I want when I want to. I mean, that wins seasons by being yourself.
I've never had like an ab my entire life, not even a single ab. Your core is very important in these challenges, so it's gonna be rough for me. I'm in software engineering, which is like a pretty male-dominated field. It's just like constantly not really feeling like I was listened to. Like I would say something, I would have like a great idea, no one would think twice about it. Another dude would say the exact same thing. Oh yeah, that's great. I'm like, bro, I just said it. But like, I don't need praise. I don't need my ego stroked by people, and I think that's very good in the game of Survivor. My mom's Guyanese, my dad's Sri Lankan. They definitely had an expectation of me, like the typical, quiet, obedient South Asian girl. And unfortunately, they had me instead. I was intentionally annoying, and that still hasn't really changed for me. I want to show them, you raised a very strong woman. I want them to see that and be like proud of like the daughter that they made.
I started watching in college because my teammates at Georgia Tech created a Survivor drinking game. And the first time we played, I won. And hope that there's some drinking game challenge out here that I can win. I was diagnosed with autism when I was just about a year old. The first doctors were telling my parents that I would never live independently, I'd never hold a job. My parents, they didn't give up on me, and now I'm getting my PhD in engineering, and I was the first and only girl to play on the men's hockey team at Georgia Tech, and I'm the captain of the men's club team at Brown. I've been a huge success story, but I still struggle with lots of different things related to my autism, because I do not pick up on the small little minute social cues that everyone else does. Obviously it's gonna be tough out here. Everybody's lying all the time and I'm not gonna know it, but I always am looking for new challenges. I know I have the brains, I know I have the bronze. I want people to be like, she was the whole package.
I can't have my flight attendant face out there. You know, when someone goes into the bathroom without their shoes on, and I will just openly be like, I can't do that out here. I'll get voted out first. We grew up very religious, but very strict. There was a lot of pressure on my shoulders to be a certain way, to believe a certain way, to live up to certain expectations. So I ended up going to ministry school in Alabama. I got a job at a mega church in the South. It was like a fork in the road. And I knew that if I accepted that job, I was gonna live my entire life for what everybody around me wanted me to do. So I packed up my Ford Fiesta, and within 9 days, I had gotten a job as a flight attendant, and the world opened in a whole new way to me. I started watching Survivor when I started skipping ministry school to watch Survivor at home. And watching this show, like, I wish I could do that, but I could never. This is making up for lost time of all the experiences I've held myself back from. I am going all out on this.
I'm just prayerful that if I am dreaming, that no one wakes me up. At least for 26 days. Let me sleep, please. As a colorectal surgeon, people see me for reasons they don't want to talk about. Exams on body parts they haven't shown anybody else. Have to have that trust within a very short amount of time, and they have to know that it's a safe space. I want to help my patients, but in this game of Survivor, I want to be helpful so they can in turn help me advance in this game. Med school is tough, and Survivor was a way for me to de-stress and to know that at least for 1 hour a week, I had a break. And There's a point in your life at which you say, okay, you have your family, you have the profession that you want, all right, this is it. And in reality, until the day you're called home, live life. And so I want to come in with that same passion to play this game.
I grew up in a very, very large Italian Catholic family, lots of us. I feel like Jeff was my survivor godfather growing up. I'm from New Jersey. I'm super proud of it. There's so much amazing New Jersey presence. Hello, Tony, Michelle, Natalie, Steph, obviously, Serene, an absolute angel legend. It's just duh, keep casting the New Jersey people. A year ago, I quit my agency job after 8 years. I started my own business. I moved to Virginia with my boyfriend, which to my family in New Jersey is do we need a passport to get there? And I was like, I'm taking all these risks. I gotta finally apply for Survivor. I feel like anyone in PR should get the out here. I make a living persuading people to do things, and you need to be able to genuinely connect with people on a human level. And so many of those skills, translate to being out here, and I know I'm gonna crush it.
The easiest part of the game, the challenges. I'm not gonna lie. My Survivor bucket list is just winning more challenges than any other person before. Kind of always been an adrenaline junkie, I guess. Worked as a whitewater rafting instructor for 6 summers in Colorado. Currently a stunt performer. Got my commercial pilot's license. I love doing things that challenge me, and I have a lot of hobbies, I guess, that kind of indicate that. So living under pressure has just been part and parcel of my life. So no matter what challenges come my way, I'm always gonna be able to remain calm and composed, and I think it's gonna bode very well for Survivor. I mean, I know a lot of people say this, but I truly think I have it all. I mean, I got the social skills, I have the charm, I see you smiling, you're already into it, I get it. And I obviously have the physical prowess and mental capacity to get me through. I don't really have an Achilles heel. I have a personal motto, it's not ego, it's history. Everything I've done, I've come out ahead. Could step a little bit into arrogance, I don't know, but hey, it won't be arrogance though if I win Survivor, so we'll see.
I'm kind of good at sports, I'm kind of smart, I'm kind of funny, I'm the best average guy you'll ever meet. I'm hoping to go into indigent criminal defense, representing people who could not otherwise afford a defense. Advocate on behalf of somebody that's going through something that might be the worst experience of their life. Just being able to help people. There is a lot about being a lawyer that is creative. You're constantly thinking about arguments and figuring out how it can best fit your client's situation. I've never been the person who looks at a problem and solves it one way. I come at it from different angles all the time. I hope I can bring that to Survivor too. The school that I went to was an affluent white community. The community that I grew up in was a black urban community. I work with some of the richest individuals in the world, but I've also lived with certain individuals who don't have a dollar to their name. I feel like it's made me better every time I've been around a new group of people and I learned something new. That's why I think I'm gonna be good at Survivor. If I can bring that story to the game and explain to people why it's important to seek out other people who are different than you, then I think I'd be pretty pumped up about that.
So I'm a little bit nervous now, I'm here, now what? I have to look somewhat hot. I'm not gonna look ugly, so I'm gonna mix some coconut shavings and then some seawater, make a little paste, and then do my hair every morning. I'm sure they're gonna think I'm stupid, but it's okay. I wanna look as ditzy and clueless as possible because that's what's gonna help me go through far in this game. I worked in engineering and then I was like, this is not my vibe. I love to talk, I love to socialize. So I went from engineering to business and now I'm in finance for a tech company. I always thought of myself as the brainy guy, the nerdy guy. Seeing Yul Kwon on TV just made me realize I'm not pigeonholed into this archetype. Someone who looks like me is on TV and he's not just smart, he's strategic and he's athletic and he's a great game player. So he really started inspiring me to hopefully apply for the show. And I'm ready.
I'm really good at putting out fires. I'm not sure if I could start one. I've been on the fire department for 26 years, been a paramedic for 33 years. I'm also a nurse. I know. I like helping people, I don't know. When I became a firefighter, I walked in, the guys literally growled at me. They didn't want a female. I had my purse on my shoulder and I said, is there a hook on the engine for my purse? And I was the lead guy 15 years later, so they didn't run me out. I can't walk into a firehouse if I'm voted out early. I mean, I'll get teased to no end. There's no coming home not doing well. I don't want to be the leader. In my job, I'm the leader now, and I want to be the workhorse because that's what I've been my whole life. I grew up very poor, on welfare, a single mom, so I know what it takes to work hard to get what you want. I think that's going to help me a lot here.
I'm hoping they see me as like the goofy, happy-go-lucky, fun-loving kid who has a lot of hair. We have an Italian restaurant back home that I now am the manager of. It's our family restaurant through and through. My parents started it together over 40 years ago. I got my aunts up front. I got my buddies from high school doing deliveries. I don't want to brag, but I make the best pizza. We've made the best pizza all our lives. I've never really had a gym membership. Luigi's kind of in my gym, carrying 50-pound bags of flour on my shoulders, and I'm doing those deliveries, 40 or 50 pizzas at a time, and that's kind of been my strength training. So I want to see how that translates out here, because I feel like I've had a weird path. I used to work in the State House at like the highest levels of state politics, and I went to Yale and I studied political science. I was planning to go to law school, but my mother got really sick about 4 years ago with leukemia. She couldn't work anymore, so I could step in. I go from Yale to making meatball subs with my father in the kitchen, and I'm gonna play this game for her. Just give her a big check and just say like, Ma, for the first time in your life, you don't have to go to work tomorrow. You're all set.
I hold grudges. That might be something I'm gonna have to work on. I was raised by my mom and my grandmom, so I've only been surrounded by strong, resilient, independent women. That's all I know. Because I didn't grow up around a lot of soft people, so it's really hard for me to kind of understand people who are super emotional. Anything that's here is gonna come out of here. The reactiveness is something I need to learn how to pull back. That's gonna be tricky. It's gonna be really tricky for me. You're not gonna tell me I can't or will not do something. It's gonna make me wanna do it more. I had so many teachers in high school try to tell me I was the worst writer ever. I was like, I gotta prove you wrong then. I went on to get an Associated Press award. That teacher can eat. People told me I would never leave Philadelphia. Not only did I end up in California, but I worked for one of the biggest media companies out here. My mom told me I shouldn't do Survivor, and look at me. Look at me now. Hi, Mom.
I don't wanna be a challenged beast, because that'll be a target, but what about a monster? Like, I'm in the closet, I'm under the bed, I'm nasty, you don't want to mess with me, but like, you can't see me all the time. That's what I'll go for. And I was fortunate enough to go to UCLA on a full scholarship for football and track and field. And now I have 2 kids, and I'm a captain in the fire service in Northern California, in Sacramento. It's amazing. My sister, she started watching the show and she said, we should do this. There's no way you can do this. There's no way. Not too long after that, we lost her to domestic violence. To get past some of that pain, I had to get off the couch and say, you know what, to honor her, to be Joanna's voice, I'm gonna give it a shot, just like you would. I want people to see someone who is a great dad, I think I am, and someone who was in a dark place, took that struggle and turned it into triumph. And in that, be a better version of me than I ever could be when I come out of this.